Hi, it's Steve with Coin Stuff I Like, and I'm bringing you this video about the flowing hair dollar design. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the originals and then the modern tributes. Now, we know that in 2024, U.S. Mint uh, came out with 230th anniversary silver medal and gold coin tributes to the original. And, this is a sort of an iconic coin because this is the first silver dollar design used by the fledgling U.S. Mint back in 1794. So I'd like to cover the originals, 1794, 1795, and then come back and cover some of the more modern tributes for this iconic first American silver dollar. So let's get into it. The first one that I want to talk about is 1794, and a little background in April on April 2nd, 1792. There's passage of approval for the founding of U.S. Mint, and the silver dollar was authorized along with other coinage. And they proposed in the legislation that the silver dollar should be 0.8924 fine and weigh 416 grains. Um, so time elapsed because they had to accrue a building and equipment and also get the key folks, the assayer, the chief coiner, and they had to bond them back in those days, meaning they had to pay money to bond them to the United States. And that took a little while, and Congress actually had to lower the bonding fee. And so it took a little while, and it wasn't until 1794 that the first silver dollar. Now, they started producing coinage earlier, but in 1794 was the first silver dollar that resulted from the original founding back in 1792 of the U.S. Mint. So this silver dollar was the designer engraver was Robert Scott, and you can see that Liberty, flowing hair Liberty, Liberty at the top, date at the bottom, 15 stars because that's the number of states in the Union at that time. And then on the back is the leaner American eagle on the reverse and United States of America. And you're going, well, wait a minute, where's the denomination? Well, that was edge lettered. So it was a smooth edge with 100 cents, $1, or unit was the edge lettering for this silver dollar. And that held true for 1795 as well. In the transition from when the legislation was created, and they even created some limits of for these the composition. The assayer said, it's going to be a lot easier if we just make these closer to 0.90 fine and keep the weight the same. So that's what they actually did, unbeknownst to the legislation and outside of what the legislation agreed to. So that was a little controversy early on, but because of the assayer's behest that this is going to be a lot easier to produce planchets that are 0.90 fine, that's what they ended up being. And they use one die pair for the production of 1794 silver dollars. Now, I'm using images from PCGS CoinFacts. I want to acknowledge them. I'll put the link to PCGS CoinFacts for the flowing hair silver dollars in the description of this video. This one here is an XF40. So, on October 15, 1794, it is believed that that's when the production occurred, and they had a screw press for producing these. Remember, one die pair screw press, which was actually more appropriate for like a $50, but they're using it for these silver dollars. And that's what they did. They produced actually 2,000 coins, purportedly on a single day, but there was a lot of them didn't meet the quality standards, and so only 1,758 were delivered to the superintendent, and the others were just were recycled eventually in 1795 as planchets for the $1795. In fact, there is one known 1795 that has the host 1794 from these the failures from 1794. There's one known that shows some of the remaining host details. So of that 1758 is 150 estimated survival, of which 10 are in MS state. So these are very expensive. If you're down in the VG, you're paying six figures already at VG. And when you get higher, of course, it goes up accordingly. If you're this coin at XF40, probably a $250,000 coin or above at this point in time. So the 1794 is 1758 original mintage. And oh, by the way, this year the U.S. Mint had for the silver medal used 1794, which we know is relative to the date of the original silver dollar. But wouldn't it have been interesting if they used 1758 for the privy mark, for the number of privy marks that were produced? In any case, I can't get past. Oh, by the way, at the bottom of the screen, you see a link. This is an article by Charles Morgan and Hubert Walker from earlier this year. That was published in Coin Week. I will put the link for this article down in the description of this video. This article is a really nice, thorough but efficient synopsis of the 1794 flowing hair dollar and some of the key coins in that from that date. You can also look at PCGS Coin Facts. They're really good on discussing this, and of course there are books on the subject as well. So that said, I can't finish up on the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar without discussing this one right here. So this one here has a long pedigree going back. It's an SP66. There's only one of these from 1794. The thought is that this was struck on October 15th, 1794. We're not sure. Maybe it was before, but the general consensus is that it was amongst those that were first struck, and there's some conjecture that this was the very first silver dollar produced by the U.S. Mint ever. So this one, and why do they believe that? Well, first of all, This has no bag marks. This coin has no bag marks whatsoever. So the inference there is that it may have been produced first and pulled aside as a presentation piece, and while the others go into the bag and have bag marks, etc. The other is that this one here has perfect die alignment. So meaning it probably was first struck before the dial started getting out of alignment. And what do I mean by that? Well, in 1794, the dies. Remember, it was a screw press, and it was intended for half dollars, not dollars. But the dies got mal-angled to each other such that the later production, most of 1794, has a very weak strike down here on the obverse. And the lower left, you can see the stars down here versus the stars up here. And then on the reverse, the same thing, the same area. Very weak strike here and full strike on the other side because the dies were angled relative to each other. This one has none of that. And because of lack of bag marks, the lack of angled die, the dies are perfectly aligned, and also the pedigree. There's other reasons, but this is the thought process why this is thought to be the very first and why it's designated as a SP66. So there's only one of these. The mintage is one, the survival is one, and by the way, this one here exceeded $10 million at auction in 2013. So imagine, what it would auction for now. So over $10 million. Again, it's considered the very first silver dollar produced in the United States by the U.S. Mint. So 1795, they continued production with this design, and they actually changed the design towards the latter part of 1795, and it becomes a whole different issue. So 1795, they produced the floating hair silver dollar, same design obverse, same design reverse, with a few exceptions. I'm going to go back a couple of slides because I just want to mention this. This weight issue, and when they went to 999 fine, had a certain weight that they decided they're going to use. Well, planchets weren't as consistently produced, and so they would weigh them prior to actually pressing them, and planchets that were overweight were shaved a little bit. And so you can sort of see in this one here, see this these shaving marks here. So it's thought that this was shaved, but then they reweighed it and it may have been below the weight, so then they plugged it. So what they did is, this is to the planchet, not to the coin, so they would take a plug out, 8 millimeter plug, and put in another plug of silver that would bring the weight back up to what the standard was. So you'll see this one is both shaved and plugged to reach the exact weight specifications, and that was what the way they did it in 1794 and 1795. So I had to go back to preface this one because for the 1795, they come in three primary varieties. There's sub-varieties, but go down to the die level. But the three primary are a 3-leaf reverse, you can see here, 3-leaf, or 2-leaf reverse, which is what they had in 1794, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And then silver plug. So they minted 16,029 in 1795, and these three primary varieties compose that mintage number. Now, the three leaves, as I mentioned, has three leaves here on the reverse. This one here is MS64 plus. You can see some looks like some shaving here. That was probably in the planchet, because nowadays you go, oh, that would be MS details. But no, this is part of the planchet producing process, so it gets the MS64 grade. So this is the three leaves. There are estimated 6,000 survivors, only 40 of them in mint state condition. This, of the 1795, actually of between 1794 and 1795 flowing hair silver dollars, this is the easiest one to find and obtain. In other words, the greatest number of survivors. Remember, only 150 survivors for the 1794. And this one has 6,000 survivors. The two-leaf variety is like the 1794 reverse, with two leaves here, two leaves there. And there's 4,000 of these estimated survivors and 25 in mint state condition. This is a PCGS MS65. And then there is the silver plug variety. There are silver plug 1795s that have two leaves and three leaves. So it's just sort of a sub-variety that comes from one of these two types of reverses. This one here depicted is the MS65 plus with a three-leaf reverse. There is an estimated 250 of these that are surviving, and you can sort of see the evidence of the plug here. And that's, you can see that in the coins. There has been some history of some coin doctoring to try to get this. Of course, it drives the price up, but this one is authenticated and graded MS65 plus. There are only 6 in mint state condition that are known to survive. This is one of them. So now, having gone over the originals, the iconic originals, let's start talking about some of the modern tributes. The first one I want to talk about is the one produced by Ron Landis and the Gallery Mint. And this is one that I have in my collection, and we will get to a brief video with some wobbling to show the lighting over the coin as I go through this. This one here I acquired and submitted to Annex to be holdered, and it comes back as an MS69. You can see that it's a very faithful reproduction, which Ron Landis and the Gallery Mint did for a number of early period coins. This one has the same 15 stars, Liberty at the top, date at the bottom, and reverses a pretty true reproduction of that reverse, but it puts a copy on because this is using the same date. So this is something you have to do as an obligatory prevention of being called a counterfeit, is putting a copy counter stamp in there. The Gallery Mint, if you did not know, was around from about 1992 to 2000 and is located in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I do not know the mintage of the 1794 flowing hair dollar tribute or slash copies produced by the Gallery Mint. So if you know, put it in the comment section down below. If you know the mintage, I suspect that it probably had a mintage of less than 1,000. That's my hunch, but I have no. I've searched and searched. I don't know. These are produced in 0.90 fine silver. They're about 39 millimeters in diameter. They are in the coin orientation, meaning you turn it over and the eagle's upside down if you keep the obverse upright. So it's coin orientation. This one also is faithful to the original in having the exact same edge lettering. So smooth edge and the same edge lettering, 100 cents or 100 cents, $1 or unit is on the edge lettering. We know that there are 3 obverses and 3 reverses from the work of Cliff Bowling. There's the link. I'm going to put that down in the description as well, where this particular diagram is located. So it's worth a look, and look at the subtle variations between the 3 obverse, 3 and 3 reverse dies. This one here is a type is reverse die 2 and I'm sorry, obverse die 2, reverse die 3. Ron Landis and Gallery Mint also produced the pattern in copper and in silver. This one here's a copper of a 1794 pattern. I mention this because the U.S. Mint, prior to striking 1794, when Robert Scott designed this is how it looked. This was the pattern, and they struck it up in copper originally prior to the actual production of the 1794 flowing hair silver dollars. And after doing the pattern, it came back and modified things a little bit, adding the 15 stars around the perimeter of the coin. So this is not all that much different than the pattern that was produced prior to the first production of 1794 silver flowing hair dollars. So they did a replica of that pattern, and then also they did another at the bicentennial. So this is no doubt was produced in 1994 at the Gallery Mint. They did a bicentennial tribute where it has a 17 and 19 sort of on top of each other here at the bottom. So that's the bicentennial tribute, and of course the copy is down here on the lower part of the reverse. That said, those are going to be harder to find, but this one here, I think that if you want to have a tribute and a tribute coin, this would be one of them that you want to have. And this is going to hold its value among Gallery Mint collectors and collectors that want the modern tributes. So I would suggest this one. I'm really happy to have this one in my collection. It's a really nice example. So let's take a look. So that was this particular coin, and pretty nice looking coin, and a pretty faithful reproduction of the original 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. Next up is another one that I'd recommend if you're putting together the modern tributes, and this one is from Dan Carr and the Moonlight Mint, and this is a 1792. Now, 1792, as you recall, is when the U.S. Mint was founded. They didn't produce a flowing hair silver dollar until 1794, and that's one of the things Dan Carr does with fantasy pieces is that he'll create coins for dates that they actually did not produce by the U.S. Mint. So this one here is an MS-70 example of Dan Carr's 1792 flowing hair silver dollar. Also a pretty nice reproduction, although the reverse is a little bit different. The eagle's wings don't extend as far out, and the leaf design, the wreath with its leaves are somewhat redesigned versus the original. This one here was, these were struck in 2024 on American Silver Eagles, so overstruck on American Silver Eagles. So they're 9995, they're about 41 millimeters in diameter. And this is one of the things I really love about Dan Carr and his Moonlight Mint production blog is that he lists the mintage, and they are reliable, and you can go to the production blog and find the exact mintages, as opposed to what I saw with the Gallery Mint. And again, if you know Gallery Mint mintage for the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar copy, let me know. But this one here, he minted 194 of the 1792 flowing hair silver dollars, and 95 of them were high grade, as you see in this example, and then the rest were toned, so they're antiqued basically, and some people like collecting those. I'll collect, and they're beautiful, by the way. They're beautiful, but I collected this one. This one also has a coin orientation, so the Landis replica and the Daniel Carr flowing hair silver dollar tributes fantasy pieces have coin orientation. This does have a smooth edge with edge lettering, but in this case it says 1 troy ounce 999 silver struck on a USA silver dollar. So let's take a closer look at this one with some video. So very nice coin, and glad to have this one in my collection. Next up is another Dan Carr piece, and this is a 1793. Again, the U.S. Mint did not produce flowing hair silver dollars until 1794. This is a 1793, and this one here was proof-like and was graded MS-70 DCAM. You can see some of the host coin. Again, American Silver Eagles were the base coin that were overstruck. So this one, again, these were produced in 2023 on American Silver Eagles. Again, 999 fine and 41 millimeters approximately. There were 198 of these minted. 171 of those 98 were in high grade proof-like condition, like this particular coin. And they also, again, a coin orientation. There was no edge lettering. It was just a smooth edge of the coin. So that was 1793 Moonlight Mint version tribute. And besides this 171 high grade proof like, what Dan did was take the dies before he polished the dies to make proof like dies. He produced 9 that were in brilliant satin on unpolished dies, and this was one of the first 9. I'm happy to have this one in my collection as well. It's a beautiful coin. Everything else is the same. It's produced from the same dies as the proof like that I showed you here. Same dies, but this was before the dies were polished so that the proof like coins would be produced. So this is one of 198 total minted, but it's one of the first 9 that were minted of this particular date. So this one here, graded MS69. Let's take a look at video of both this one as well as the proof-like version of the 1793. So a couple of really nice coins to have if you want to have some modern tributes for the flowing hair silver dollar. There's a couple more that you could look into. They're going to be hard to find because it's such low mintage, though. Next up is the flowing hair silver dollar tribute from Intaglio Mint. This one here I had submitted to Annex, but Annex returned it saying that it was too big. It wouldn't fit in one of their holders. Now, this is a 2-ounce silver planchet, so it's quite thick. It's double the thickness, but it's dated 1794. A pretty good, in my opinion, pretty good faithful reproduction of the original. This one here, as I mentioned, is 2 ounces, 999 fine. It's 39 millimeters in diameter, but it's double the thickness, and it's that thickness that prevents it from going into an Annex holder. So I put it in my own slab, and that's where it resides in my collection. This coin was struck, this series, the Intaglio Mint 1794 Tribute, was struck in 2021. And it has a metal orientation as opposed to the DNCAR pieces and the Gallery Mint pieces, which had the coin orientation like the original. This one, it's hard to mistake this as a counterfeit because it's double the thickness of the original and its metal orientation. This has a reeded edge, no edge lettering, and this is what it looks like. So let's take a look at some video of this coin. So there is that coin, and really nice high relief. You could you look at these images and in the video, really nice high relief tribute piece for the 1794 Flowing Hero silver dollar. Next up is the dime a dozen tributes that you can find online and from various sources. These are there's some silver plated, some that are just non-precious metal alloy. This one, I believe, I should take this off and redo this label. I don't think this is silver plated. And it is, it's a more of a junk replica. It doesn't have any precious metal content. It's a smaller diameter than the original, or any of the other modern tribute coins. It's light. The mintage is unknown. The minter is unknown, but it is it's a tribute to it. This one here, I was at a coin show in Sacramento, and I saw this in the case, and I wanted to take a look at it. And the dealer says, I don't think that's silver. And he checked it out on his little portable XRF, and it was not silver. And he says, please take this off of my hands. I don't want to have it in my case. So I got it for $2. And this is reeded edge, no edge lettering. And I thought I'd throw it in there because it may be some person's coin for their to have amongst their modern tribute, because it has a 1794 date on it. Again, it is metal orientation, as are most of these other non-precious metal copies, or they're in coin orientation and they have copy counter-stamped on the one side or the other. I'm not going to do video of this particular one, so let's move on to the U.S. Mint modern tribute. So this is I did a video on this coin when it arrived. It was sort of like a unveiling to see if we had the privy mark. It did not, but it was a beautiful coin. I'm glad to have it in my collection. I mean, this is a really beautiful mint product, and I sent it off to Annex because I wanted all of my Flowing Hair silver dollars, the modern tributes that is, to be in Annex holders. So this one came back as an MS-70, and I'm really happy that it did, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection. As you know, this one here has had a privy mark and non-privy mark version. They're 99 fine. They're produced in Philadelphia. They don't have a mint mark, but they're minted in Philadelphia. They are metal orientation for all the silver U.S. Mint products for the Flowing Hair. There's no edge lettering. They are smooth edge. And the sales through the last available report on November 17th of 2024 is that there are 49,911 that sold, and they have a product limit that's posted of 50,000. Original mintage limits was listed at 75,000, and they lowered it to 250,000 to a 50,000 product limit. And I did a video on that, and the conjecture that maybe they might put it in a different product, but the word is that they just didn't have enough planchets, and it's unlikely this will be seen in another product, and the final mintage will be somewhere near 50,000, but not above. We know that there are supposed to be 17 194 privy marked versions, as you see in the right screen. But then I question, that's why I put the question mark, if they did they produce 1794 right at the get go, and that was amongst this 50,000 that are well 49,911 that have been sold, or were some of the privy marks not yet done? I think it's probable that they did all 1794, and those 1794 are contained within this 49,911 that have been sold through November 17th. That's what I think. But I haven't seen anything one way or the other to confirm what I just said. So there's likely 1794 of these out there, and we know that there's only 49,911 of them altogether that are out there at this point in time. So let's take a look at some video of the coin that I have, the one that you're seeing here on the left image. So pretty nice coin. I'm really happy with this one. It's a beautiful metal, and a nice tribute piece at the 230th anniversary. As I said, would have been cool. I know why they did 1794, because it matches the date for the number of privy marked silver medals. But wouldn't have been sort of cool, a little deeper little Easter egg if it was 1758, because that's the original mintage of the 1794 Flown Hair silver dollar. Anyway, neither here nor there. Let's also talk about the gold version. Now, I don't have one of these, so you won't be seeing video, and I may not ever have one of these. I put it this way: I'd much rather have a 1795 three leaves in my collection than this one. But if I was a deep pockets collector, one of these folks that have the 1794 Flown Hair silver dollar, which I will never have, then maybe this is the one you want to pair up with that in your collection. As you know, they are going on auction. The privy marked ones are going on auction. There's 230 of those. They're going on auction at Heritage Auctions or Saxon Bowers Auctions, I should say, on December 16th. All 230 of them. The number one, which also comes with the canceled dies, is around $175,000 is the bid at the moment, and there's still some time to go before the auction takes place. So the gold comes, as you know, comes in unprivy marked and privy marked. They were produced in West Point. I did not know that until I was researching this video. So the gold was produced in West Point. The silver was produced in Philadelphia. They both have no mint marks. This is 999 fine gold, 30.61 millimeter diameter. And this one, as opposed to the silver metal, this one has coin orientation. And this one does have the original edge lettering. So 100 cents, $1 or unit is the edge lettering of this. So it is a faithful reproduction of the original coin. The sales through November 17th, 7,625 total. Now, I'm not sure if that includes this 230 because they're technically yet to have been sold, or whether it does because they've already been shipped off to PCGS and all graded, right? So I don't know if that's in this total or not. But 7,625 is rather low because they originally planned on 17,500 as their mintage limit, but they also lowered the product limit on this one to 10,000, and they're not even close to reaching that at this point as of November 17th. So we'll see what the next report will be when it comes out. But there's not going to be more than 10,000 of these. It's unlikely that it's going to be another product that contains this. So this is a 10,000 product limit, only up to 7,625 at this point in time. So it'd be nice to have, but it's a little on the pricey side to own an unprivy mark, let alone the privy mark, which that's going to be a fun one. Bring some popcorn and watch the Sachs Bowers auction for those. So there you have it. I wanted to get all this information in together in one video, starting with the originals, the iconic first American silver dollars produced by the U.S. Mint, starting in 1794, and then the modern tributes. Like I said, I hope to someday own a 1795 to pair up with these modern tributes that I've shown you, and that will sort of complete my collection. And maybe if I hit lotto, maybe I get a gold someday, but that's not likely. So thank you for watching. Remember, be smart about what you buy, but buy stuff you like. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.